Hi everyone, Mike Holmes here. This is the Know Your Reno podcast, where listeners will hear from experts from Improve Canada.
Hi, my name is Olga, and I'm the host of the Know Your Reno podcast at Improve Canada. Today in the studio, we have Steve from the AV Guys, and he's going to tell us about how to set up a luxury smart home in 2022.
Thanks for having me, Olga. I'm Steve, like you said, from AV Guys. We've been in this niche for about 20 years. Things have progressed over the years, and what we specialize is in home automation. From the ground up, typically we find we're being asked to produce these particular homes for the ability for audio, video, lighting control, climate, and security, and that includes security systems and cameras. So we're usually dealing with the architect and the designer and the builder. If the homeowner is involved, that's even better because we're actually getting to know what it is that they're actually thinking about. And then if there's something they weren't thinking about, I'd like to take it as if it was my own house. And I would suggest things to them on what would be best for them. And if they like the idea, most often they're going to go with it. And if they don't, they're going to tell me right off the bat. One, we're structurally wiring the house. So we're not relying on Wi-Fi because today Wi-Fi is a little bit spotty at times. So we like to hardwire our devices. We usually choose an area in the house where we're going to have an equipment rack, and we wire everything back to that head end area. And then we have like nice clean walls with just a TV and some speakers in the ceiling and a remote control on the coffee table to be able to control. Or you're also going to use your iPhone or your Android phone or a tablet, and we make it all work.
Amazing. So as someone who has no experience in home automations, what sort of things could you automate, especially now in this environment?
So the idea of being able to control your lights from anywhere in the world. So we do like audio and distribute the audio speakers throughout the house, and we be able to control different media through an app, or being able to control like an Apple TV or video source from your phone, from your remote control.
What about things like security systems and, heating, air, all of that, HVAC, right? Because that's another big part of the smart home today.
Yeah, so what we're typically doing is we're controlling the temperature. The comfort of your home can be from the sofa, being able to turn up and turn down your air conditioning or your heating. We will suggest the right interface to go with to work well with the system that we're controlling the house with. So that way it's fully operating and there's no hiccups.
So when you say interfaces, what do you mean by that? What are the options?
So an interface is like a thermostat. If I was building a house today, they usually would put that in a dining room. So what we typically do is we'll put that thermostat and wire it down to like a mechanical room, and we'll sort of dummy it down where we would wire a sensor to be put in various places in a house so that it would pick up and read the temperatures and not have a bulky interface on the wall. You don't need these ugly devices on the wall, so we find a way on how to clean that up for you.
I'm Mike Holmes. I've been trying to educate people on how to build it right, how to prioritize your renovations, and how to pick products and materials that will last. We love speaking to the Improve experts about how they are supporting the skilled trades. This is important to us, and it takes a whole community to stand behind the effort. Visit improvecanada.com to start your home improvement project the right way. Subscribe to the Know Your Reno podcast to learn more about how to renovate it right. And if you do see me at Improve Canada, please come by and say hi. Hope you enjoy the podcast and keep making it right.
Every homeowner now is concerned with efficiency and saving money on utility bills and all of that. How does having a smart home or something like an automated thermostat, how does that play into that?
You wouldn't need to have your lights on at 100%. We could step it back to about 80% and still achieve enough efficiency for you to be able to see what you need to see, but that energy would be reduced over time. Also, flipping a dummy switch on your lights is very harmful to a light bulb. We like to ramp up the lights and fade them down. We can also be able to reduce the heat and see where we are. Like, instead of going down to the basement or into a dining room, we could see what the reading is, and we can step it back very easily. Being the homeowner can do that themselves.
As far as like thermostats go, right? I know a big feature of like the Google Nest is that you can set it to time control so that your house is at a 73 degrees, let's say when you're at work, or at a 76 when you're home or whatnot, right? That also plays into the role of, utility bills and saving money.
It's all about getting the right devices and being able to set the schedule. Your lifestyle would pretty much predict that schedule. So if I'm leaving at 9 o'clock, there's no need for my house to be, and if the house is empty, there's no need for it to be heating all day long. What you could do from work through the application that I give you would be, I can set this back while I'm at work.
Google Nest, Amazon Alexa, and the sort of the Philips smart bulbs. How's that different from what you do?
Okay, so what we do is we introduced through the control system that we use a handshake with Alexa, so we can tell Alexa, we ask it nicely to turn off the lights or turn on the showroom media TV, and we'll say, Alexa, can you turn on our media room TV to Apple TV? And it would recognize that through the programming, how we set that up.
So basically the idea is you have almost like a control panel right on your tablet, but then you can also program that to work with Alexa and then go completely voice activated, so you wouldn't even need a remote or a tablet unless...
Well, Alexa's pretty cool device, but it's not going to be something that you're going to use all the time. I use it every now and then. If I've got my parcels in my hand, I'll say, Alexa, turn off the showroom, and the showroom shuts off, which is beautiful. It's a nice toy. It's nice to have that feature, but I don't use it all the time. I usually just hit one button, and that's really the key, is when you're leaving the house to hit one button to say goodnight. How many times did the kids leave the lights on, and how many times have you left the lights on, and how cool would it be just to go to your front door and just hit one button and then all the lights would turn off? I was just on vacation, and we hit the vacation button. And so what's nice as well is that it remembers the last 2 weeks of your patterns, and lights start to come on as if you're home. So, which is a nice deterrent to prevent crime. That's one of the nice features that we can add on for a customer. We're working with Control4, which is a really good platform. We've been doing that for about 8 years now, and it's been really, really good. Customers are really happy.
So when you say security, what are those features? What are the security automations that you can implement?
You can see your entire house, all the windows, all the doors, if there's a glass break, integrating it with your TV, which is really nice to be able to not have to go to a simple little 2-inch screen at the front door. You could do it from the comfort of your sofa or on your phone.
Yeah.
So, which is really nice.
And does that play in with the security surveillance of the home?
So the surveillance is another side of the security side. There's the security system and then the surveillance. So it's just being able to actually be anywhere in the world and seeing the cameras and being able to maybe even control the cameras. We're starting to get into analytic cameras, which is really interesting, is like facial recognition and license plate recognition. If someone broke into the property, they're hiding their face, but they may not be able to hide their car that they came in, Right. So we're learning more about that, and we're trying to put that into some of our projects now that have like the perimeter gate, and being able to add a couple of those specific analytic cameras is really something that is next level. Things are evolving, and like I said, we wired 20 years ago and we're still wiring today. Like, as far as the houses, for everything from internet, speakers, security, doors, windows, they're all still getting wired.
So when you say wiring, is that different from like the wiring that your electrician does? Is it something that they can do, or is it something that you have to come in as the expert in automations and do?
Just like the electrician who's doing the high voltage, we tend to like to work together with them because they specialize in that, and we work and coordinate usually together and collaborate our efforts together, because most of the houses are using electrical contractors and using an integrator like ourselves.
So an integrator is someone that works with low voltage, right? The wiring systems. And so you would work together with the electrician, basically, who does your washing machine wiring and whatnot. And
Correct.
That's high voltage.
The high voltage, we would ask them for specifics that are needed around the house, like how many circuits we're going to need for a specific area. Is there going to be a TV there? Well, we pretty much it's all going to be listed on a blueprint, and we just work together with them, and we coordinate our efforts, because we're usually, it's not about the wiring, it's what's being hooked up to that wire at the end of the day that they're probably not going to be trained to do. We tend to think that you're better off working with an integration company for the low voltage applications, and turn to the Sparkies, the electrical contractors, for the high voltage. Because we love the high voltage guys. We work together with many, and most of our systems require us to work together with them.
One of my last questions is, people that already have a home, are they able to convert it into a smart home and keep the existing sort of surveillance system, their existing water heaters and everything? Are you able to convert that into
that? All depends.
Or you have to change out all the products?
All depends on what year the house was designed, built. I'm working with a house right now. The house is from the 40s. Mm-hmm. So wires are in the basement, mounted to the wall. They're not in the wall, they're on the wall. So it's quite different. If someone's willing to patch and paint, we could bring some wires in to be able to get them up to speed. But as far as existing houses for lighting, we could swap out their existing switches for our smart switches, and those are referred to as wireless switches. And yes, those could now turn into an automated lighting solution for them. So yes, we can, in some situations, work with existing. We do get from time to time retrofit houses. Mm-hmm. Usually we're invited into a project that's being renovated. They usually are gutting the inside of a house. That's more something that we would get involved with. We have done one room, like a home theater. Mm-hmm. Someone left a room for later to design, so we may be asked to come in and do it. But usually we have to make some holes to be able to wire, because they don't want to see the wires on the outside of the wall. They want it to be an invisible wiring, and it's usually done best behind the wall. So
yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned the fun stuff like a home theater. What goes into a home theater that's fully automated?
You've got your receiver, you've got your projector, maybe you have a drop-down screen, you have curtains, you have speakers, subwoofers. So it all tends to need some wires, and how to automate that would be to touch one button, let's say the play button, and as soon as you hit the play button, the projector turns on, the screen drops down, the curtains open, and the receiver in the back end, that's usually in the equipment room, turns on and to the specific video source that you're looking for. So there's all these different things that would require a remote control. So we tend to get rid of all the extra remote controls, and we use one interface. So it's all how convenient it is for the customer. If it is convenient, they're going to use it more often.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're going to enjoy the experience. How many times have I heard, I don't want anything too automated. My last experience was horrible. We won't. provide you with a system that is too complicated. It should be very easy for even a child to come and use. Or how often do you have a babysitter come by? They should be able to press one button and have it so simple that it's like fun to use.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Know Your Reno. If you would like to get in touch with today's speaker or any of our large number of showrooms at Improve Canada, please check the description for a link to book an appointment with us at Canada's largest home improvement center. Don't forget to keep in touch with us on our socials, and we will see you next week for another value-packed episode to make your next home renovation a breeze.